For the past 6 years, Rockford Health System employees have taken care of patients, their families, and one another through gifts to the RHS Family Campaign. These gifts show that Rockford Health System is more than a company or an employer. Together, we are a family. The Rockford Health System family of employees shows their commitment to respectful care through the RHS Family Campaign, Superior Caring. The campaign provides dollars to 3 funds administered by the Rockford Memorial Development Foundation. They are the Wish Book, a catalog of care and comfort items for our patients and their families, the Employee Education Fund, and the Employee Crisis Fund. In the coming days, every employee will receive a personalized campaign form and an email message with information on how to give. Please take a moment to respond. Every gift, no matter the size, is important. To make a gift online, you can visit VitaLink, or for more information, contact the foundation. Here's Gary Kotz, President and CEO of Rockford Health System.
Collectively, we're advancing employees through education. We're taking care of employees in crisis situations. We're taking care of those families and patients that need us for things that they otherwise wouldn't have had. I think those are 3 components that are incredibly important to us, and I think it's wonderful to really see the collective activity of our organization address each one of those.
The funds from this year's campaign will be split as follows. 1/4 of the dollars raised from both employee gifts and the corporate match will be placed into the Employee Education Fund. Another 1/4 will go to the Wish Book, and the final 1/2 of all gifts will be put into the Employee Crisis Fund to help those employees who need a hand up. At Rockford Health System, we pride ourselves in being innovative, and lifelong learning is part of our values. The fact that our employees help donate some of the funds used is just one example of the commitment and respect we have for each other and for our community.
I went to a training in April that focused on the patient-centered medical home model. And what the patient-centered medical home is a way to do healthcare. It's not a place, it's a concept. Since I've been back from the training, I've been using the information that I received at the seminars to work with other team members to start to implement this form of care. I'm very grateful that we have that fund available so that not just myself but the other employees within the health system can further develop their knowledge, their skills, and really use that for helping themselves, helping the health system, and taking care of ourselves and each other better.
Our patients place their care into our hands every day. They rely on us for excellent medical care, but also look to us for a hand to hold late at night or a person to talk to about their fears. While we cannot always take away the pain and fear completely, what our patients remember most is our kindness, the little extras we can offer to make their time with us a little more comfortable. Wish Book items are those little extras that can make a big difference.
We have every year for years now gotten many things from the Wish Book, many extra things like medication pill boxes, sheets, fitted sheets for twin beds, and supplies to take better care of a patient. I feel these items, because they're donated and we tell our patients that they're donated, it gives them that this community cares about you.
You have told us that one of the most important parts of the family campaign to you is the Crisis Fund. 1/2 of your donation supports this increasingly important fund at Rockford Health System. Since 2007, the Crisis Fund has provided almost $250,000 in support to employees who are facing difficulties. From fires and floods to illnesses, the Crisis Fund is there for employees when they often feel frightened and alone. Just a few days after moving into a new home, the unthinkable happened to Lorenzo Turner.
I left my kid at home with his friend, and I went to go get a haircut. And my ex-wife called me. She said, your house is on fire. Somehow, she's a police officer. Somehow she got the call. I was worried about my kids, so and rushed home to make sure he was all right. So he got out safe. I mean, it was hard, you know, because I was living in a hotel, and that was hard, you know, trying to take care of the kids too, you know.
Lorenzo was grateful for the help he received for clothes for his children and some money for incidentals immediately following the fire.
Thank you, and I appreciate it, you know, because you never know. Anything can happen. You know, unforeseen occurrences do happen, and you don't never know where you can get that help from. So it was a big help.
3 years after a tree that was struck by lightning fell on her garage and an electrical fire in her home, Christy's homeowner's insurance deductible rose into the thousands. Christy, a huck on the labor and delivery unit at Rockford Memorial Hospital, was overwhelmed when another natural disaster happened at home. A tree measuring a staggering 22 feet in diameter fell on Christy's roof.
The tree branch fell on our house so perfectly that it hit the sanitary stack and it shoved it down 12 inches, which broke all the sewer lines on the second floor. From the upstairs bathroom, it crashed through to the kitchen floor. I didn't put in for the application. I'm usually not that person. I'm usually the one that's helping people, and thankfully I filled out the paperwork and she took it right out of my hand and submitted it, and within 3 or 4 days I was called and was blessed with the fund for taking care of the deductible. I felt like I was a very valued person, you know, valued customer, valued person, and a family member of Rockford Health System.
When radiology employee Corey Lamb's son Tanner was just 13 months old, he became ill. Corey and her husband faced the unthinkable.
We started out here in the ER, and we were told he had a tumor, still not knowing exactly what he had, but the doctor was fairly sure it was cancerous. So we were sent to UW, and then we started with biopsies, and that's when, after a couple days, we were told it was neuroblastoma. Unfortunately, he started to do really worse because the tumor had grown to such a size it had gone up into his chest cavity, so he was having a hard time breathing. So eventually he had to be intubated and on the ventilator because he couldn't breathe on his own. And we started chemo at that point in hopes to shrink it so we could get that pressure off his lungs so he could start breathing again. And it was a very critical time where we didn't know if organs were going to shut down, if he was going to be able to come off the ventilator, if he needed a trach. So that was probably the roughest part of this whole journey, not knowing if things were going to work for him. But slowly the tumor started to shrink. And slowly tubes came out, and the tube came out of his throat, and he smiled again, even before the tube came out. So that was good. I'm like, he's feeling better. After that, he has had 5 rounds of chemo he started with. Then he had to have surgery to remove the tumor. Had another round of chemo after the surgery. And then, unfortunately, we found that there was still some tumor left. So he had to have an unexpected surgery just almost 2 weeks ago to get the rest of the tumor out. Now he's back home again. On the 14th, we go in for a stem cell transplant. He'll come home from that, then he's going to have radiation. So we'll have a few weeks of radiation. Then after that, he'll get a month off, and we have 6 months of immunotherapy. And then hopefully we will be done and he will be cured. I want to say thank you. So it's made a world of difference. You know, we are going through this stressful time, and to not have that financial burden at the time is such a big thing. And people may only, you know, I donate, and it's just a little bit, but that's what makes a difference. Everybody's donating maybe just a little bit or whatever you can, and it's pooled together, and it helps people in ways you couldn't imagine. Because nobody ever thinks you're going to be in the shoes that I'm in or someone else is in that's had a tragedy or crisis, and you never know. And when you are, you're just very thankful that the help's there for you.